Go ahead, Bob. I know you want to sing those words. Welcome back to the Five. To be serious, shocking images out of London as the violent riots there continue. Vehicles and buildings set on fire. People at random being attacked in the streets. Prime Minister David Cameron has recalled Parliament in the middle of August to address the unrest, and 16,000 police have been dispatched to the streets. That's more police than they have in London. They're bringing them in from the areas around the city. Here's Prime Minister Cameron, who was serious about what he's going to do.
These are sickening scenes of people looting, vandalizing, thieving, robbing. And I have this very clear message to those people who are responsible for this wrongdoing and criminality. You will feel the full force of the law.
You will feel the full force of the law. Let me set this up. Police shot and killed someone they said was a drug dealer, and riots started in that neighborhood. It is now spread throughout the entire city. It's now a class warfare. It's now a left versus right. It's now a we want what they have. And Andrea, I think you have some cousins living in London who gave you some inside information on what's happening in the streets.
Yeah, my cousin Patty actually sent some pictures of store owners. We have them, and we'll bring them up, of store owners this afternoon in London boarding up their shops because they expect more riots this evening. She says that this is a beautiful neighborhood, but nobody feels safe in London. She was told to go pick up her little boy at daycare early. She says that, look, it's real hot over there. A lot of people don't have jobs. There have been government cuts, and liquor's cheap. So people are really fired up and angry. And look, we're seeing this even trickle
on the
into
note of
here.
liquor is cheap, Robert, the left is saying this is the fault of the banks. The rioting and the destruction and the looting is the fault of the banks. Do you defend your lefty buddies?
I'll defend. No, I don't defend this. I mean, this is these are clearly hooligans who are out there taking advantage of the situation. But I remember back the Watts riots. I was a little baby, but I remember the history of it. It started with cops beating up on one black man and started one of the largest riots in the history of the United States. The fact is that underneath the surface here, a lot of these cuts and a lot of the program cuts have gone directly to the poor, out of their back pocket.
It's not true.
It is too true. And
one of us has to.
And at some point, you can push people, but so far, and at some point, they're going to break out.
You're going to start rioting. Go for it.
No, let's let Greg have a.
I said I didn't justify this, but I said that I would certainly justify the people who were in the streets who were protesting.
You cannot romanticize this kind of violence when you have shopkeepers losing their. Go to a shopkeeper and tell them this is about the underprivileged. He will laugh in your face because he knows the people that are looting. They are guys that hang out there. The bottom line is, this is political correctness, a curse of political correctness. A fear of demanding good behavior has allowed bad behavior to take hold. No one wants to say, you're a thug, go to jail. They could have stopped this, but they're not, out of fear of appearing racist.
Is the killing of the drug dealer a pretext for this kind of class war?
The drug dealer never should have been shot by the cops, number one.
Agreed fully.
Number two, it's easy to say, about shopkeepers or the rest of this, and I said at the beginning that this was wrong, but the fact is that the cuts of the government of England have gone more deeply in the pockets of the poor.
They're not rioting over the cuts.
That's what you say. There were hundreds of thousands of people in the streets in London a month ago.
They're rioting to get free stereos.
Oh, get it.
That's what rioters do.
They're breaking into liquor
shows
stores
what you guys think about poor people. What?
That's not.
I never said they're poor.
Fair.
I never said they're poor. I'm saying
That's absolutely
looters.
not fair. First of all, for example, one of the reasons that you had riots in London about 4 months ago was because they suggested that maybe people should contribute a little bit more to their education. The culture of dependency has created a lack of initiative, and these people think it is okay to go and steal shoes from someone, and they've said we're going to redistribute the wealth. That's not me being against the poor.
Are you yelling at me?
Yes, because I'm mad, because I think it's unfair for you to say that we're against people who are poor.
Because the producers that Bob loves to attack are telling me we have to switch gears. May we? Not too far from where we are now, in the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the mayor on his own has ordered all teenagers to be home at 9 p.m. Should he have the authority to do that? Are things so bad in the third largest city in the United States of America that the police have to put people in their homes after dark?
Well, here's the deal. They're calling these events flash mobs, which are just basically kids They're mobs. They're not flash mobs. There's actually.
Do they dance in unison in the streets?
They don't. They go into.
I wish that dancing flash mobs would show up in New York.
Yeah,
that is like my dream.
But no, they go into convenience stores or stores and they rob them.
Yeah.
That is not a flash mob. That is a mob. There's violence. Curfews make sense, but people have to stand up and start saying that they do not accept this kind of behavior.
Right.
We've become a civilization where we've lowered expectations of behavior. This is the consequence.
And they defend it. Oh, they're angry, so they're allowed to go in and steal stuff that doesn't belong to them. But I would also say that because a lot of these cities, because of bad financial decisions, have been run into the ground, they don't have a lot of money to actually protect the citizens and deploy the cops to stop it.
Will you defend the mayor of Philadelphia and his self-imposed curfew because he's a liberal Democrat?
I'm still feeling wounded by my attack from Dana. And
I was attacked by you first.
I will try to pick up the broken piece of my life and carry on.
She wants you to be wounded.
The answer is no, I don't defend it because I think there's a libertarian issue here for you libertarians. I'm not sure you can say to every 18-year-old kid you can't be out late.
Agreed.
I'm for it. And
Agreed.
I actually really like this mayor of Philadelphia. We have if we can play that sound from here really quick, because I think that he's done a great job.
If you are under the age of 18 years old, your curfew is now 9 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. If you are out causing problems, if you are out doing things that you should not be doing, we are going to get you off the streets.
Can I tell you, from having been there, not in Philly, but having been a judge in areas where there have been riots, the police hate this. They hate making decent people go home, and a lot of those kids have the right to be on the streets, but the police cannot distinguish.
We hate having to pay for police to have to do it.
Absolutely.
And could you imagine being in the judge's court? I mean, the last place I would want if they said your judge is Napolitano, I'd split.
Again, we give Beckel the last word.
I surrender.
Coming up, Al Gore's epic rant on global warming doubters, his harsh words to those skeptics. Gutfeld will have something to say about that next on The Five.